Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our webinar on Jewish student life featuring Mason Hillel. My name is Caitlin Euler, and I'm the Assistant Director of Family Programs and Services here at Mason. So our webinar today is part of our monthly series of webinars, which will take place this spring and this fall. Our webinar series is designed to highlight topics and resources that we think are important for Mason families or Mason students to learn about. So a full listing of our webinar topics for the spring can be found on our website, which is masonfamily.gmu.edu. And so before I turn it over to Ross, our presenter, I wanted to mention that a recording of this webinar will be available on our website after the webinar today, so you can go back and access the information at any point after we put it up on our site. So during our webinar today, we invite you, if you have questions, to use the chat feature on the bottom left of the screen throughout the presentation. So Ross will respond to your questions throughout the webinar or at the end when we open it up for question and answer. So feel free, if you have questions during the presentation, to chat them in on that chat box on the left side of your screen. So with that, I will turn it over to our presenter, who's Ross Diamond, the director of Mason Hillel.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Caitlin and Rebecca, for helping set this up. It's really fantastic that we have this ongoing relationship and partnership with the Family Services and the rest of Mason. So today we're going to be giving a little bit of a background about what Mason Hillel is and where we're going and how we're going to get there. So to begin with, I wanted to just introduce myself for those of you who haven't met me before. I'm Ross Diamond, the director of Mason Hillel. What you see is my Facebook profile and a post. The reason I start this is actually my journey began around the time Facebook was born. A student came up to me and asked me if I was Jewish and if I wanted to go to Israel with her, and I was a little taken back because I was not very involved with the Jewish community at my alma mater, Penn State. And after going to Israel, I was incredibly inspired. I got very involved with campus. The program director had followed through with me by calling me up and asking me to participate in an internship, and I had the opportunity to go back to Israel. About a year later, when I was back in Israel, I had met a girl, and long and the short of it, we got married. We dated 4 years long distance, and I am now here at Mason because of this journey. I was in Ottawa, Ontario prior to here, and when I was on vacation, a person who was I ran into and met at synagogue we started talking, and it turns out that he had been the director, the chair at American University Hillel, and we stayed in touch. And when I found out I was moving to the DC area, he had connected me with Mason Hillel's opportunity to become the new director. And so far, the past semester has been incredible. And as part of what I have been doing here at Mason, something that I've noticed was incredible during my visit here. The students were incredibly excited and energetic, and they were so proud to be at Mason. And the great deal that has to do with the reputation of the school has grown tremendously over the past decade, and is still, once again, an up-and-coming school. And what does that mean? Well, that means that we have approximately 1,200 Jewish students here at Mason. About a third of them are local from Northern Virginia. About a third of them are from the rest of the state. And about a third of them are coming from out of state. And over the next 5 years, we expect to see a significant increase in Jewish attendance at Mason because of its growing reputation and its affordability. Mason prides itself in having very affordable tuition for in-state and out-of-state students, and this is an ongoing effort to create Mason an environment that's innovative because, well, it's the institution where innovation is tradition. So, as I mentioned, our organization is up and coming. To this, we have had an amazing past semester. Almost every week we have Shabbat dinners where we have between 40 and 50 students coming out and participating. Students lead their own Kabbalah Shabbat services, and students come to my home and cook with my wife to be able to bring and provide food for the Mason Hillel student group. Students connect differently based on different types of interest and programming. That's why we have such a diversified programming schedule. Last semester we had a program where we went to an observatory and we learned a little bit of Jewish text with a local rabbi. This semester we're having an event that is going to be Havdalah, so after Shabbat ends on Saturday, with a klezmer group that a local cantor, she's bringing her group here, and it's just going to be an incredible experience for students to be able to engage with their peers and express themselves creatively. So meaningful Jewish experiences, we're really focusing on having students have positive Jewish experiences before they graduate. Some of the programs in which we're doing include our Operation Mezuzah, where we're giving students a mezuzah to adorn on their door, in which case they get the mezuzah for free, they say the blessing, and we engage in conversation about what that means to them. We have our B'nai Mitzvah program, where we have a group of students who are growing individually as spiritually as Jewish people, and we're giving them a wide breadth of learning opportunities with different community members, so that way they have a better understanding of what type of Jewish person they would like to be and where they would like to go in their once they graduate and enter the world that doesn't have a Hillel to support them. The main part of that is I'm trying to equip students with the ability to ask the question why, and to know what resources to ask those questions at. So in regards to Israel and Hebrew language study, we just had a group of students arrive this past weekend from Israel on Taglit, Birthright. They had a once-in-a-lifetime experience to be able to see Jerusalem covered in snow. It's also really neat that President Cabrera, the new president at Mason, was actually in Israel with our students. Not directly with them, but on his own quest he was at a conference. But what else we have here is there's a Hebrew course that's being offered for the first time in 4 years through the College of Humanities. And I just found out this past week that we have some scholarship to give to students to go to APAC at a reduced cost. And APAC, the policy conference, which is coming up in March, is the largest gathering of lobbyists to support Israel in the world. And it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience, or a many times in a lifetime experience for students to be able to meet with congresspeople and senators to ask them to support Israel. In addition, we're partnering with the embassy and other regional and national organizations to be able to bring really amazing speakers like Neil Lazarus and Edgar Carrot to this campus, which is going to be an incredible opportunity for students. In addition, we're here to inspire leaders. Our student board consisted of 8 students last semester, and they've since increased to 12. And this is a testament to the current leadership reaching out and helping their peers become leaders and rise from being just a participant. Our students have specifically targeted students with skills and energy that will help our organization get to the next level in terms of reaching Jewish students on campus. Our students' leaders, they work tirelessly as ambassadors for the Jewish people at Mason, and they're involved with so many different organizations. They're involved with Greek Life, Mason Ambassadors, Student Government, and any other organization you can think of, they have a hand in. And last, I wanted to talk about community service. Our students have recognized the importance of giving back And last semester they had over 10 projects that were community service oriented. A group of alumni in partnership with active current students had raised over $1,000 for the Carver Project to give toys to underprivileged children in Arlington. Our students organized Swipe for Hunger, in which they encouraged their peers to use their meal plan, their extra meal plans, to get cereals and other types of non-perishable goods from the Johnson Center here, and those were donated to Our Daily Bread, which is a local food bank. And this is just a slice of what's going on campus. We had over 35 programs last semester, and I know each and every one of them was designed to help students connect with their peers, both Jewishly and as a part of the greater community here. So I just wanted to briefly talk about one student's journey. A good friend of mine, his name is Derek, and he began his journey by asking me deep and meaningful questions about himself. He was searching for community. He's from California, and he didn't really have much family here. And he was interested in Jewish self-exploration, asking big questions about, who he was in the world today. He supports Israel and grapples with the complications that come along with that, because there's no black and white answer to the challenges that Israel has in the world today for any person. And since then, in working with us, Derek has grown to inspire others to ask questions, and he was really the driving force behind our B'nai Mitzvah project. He's building community. He's a part of the AE Pi fraternity, in which has grown tremendously. It's almost doubled its membership this past semester, and they're looking to bring in a whole new group of young men to join their fraternity this semester. He's taking on a commitment to Jewish learning, as I mentioned, the B'nai Mitzvah program, as well as countless number of other opportunities regarding Hebrew classes on campus, and other books and materials that I've provided for him. And now he's taking on some formal leadership roles with the student organization. So now he's involved with the Israel student group and expressing his voice and working with his peers to be able to have a productive conversation in support of Israel that will help students, grapple with the complications, but also educate themselves about this country that I so dearly love, and I know many of our students have a strong experience with, either by traveling to or having family there. So where we're going. At the top there's a quote. It's Theodor Herzl, Im tirtzu ein zo agada, and that means, if you will it, it is no dream. And our dream is to have to know 70% of our Jewish students within 5 years, to engage 40% of them, which would be about 480 students per year, and to have 20% at the leadership level. With the continued momentum we're building, we're sure to achieve this, especially as we have a significant increase of students, Jewish students, coming to George Mason over the next 5 years. We aspire and are working towards having a full-time Israel fellow and additional staff to be points of contact for students at Mason, so that whenever they have a question regarding something that affects themselves, they have an additional person to go to, as I am a solo professional. We aspire to have a kosher kitchen on campus, so that students who keep kosher dietary restrictions can have a place to be able to cook meals, as well as so that we have a place that our meals for Shabbat can be cooked, and it can be a convenient social convening place for our students, because who doesn't like to eat? And finally, the dreams and aspirations of our students, board and partners. Really, it's not myself that will help us get there. I'm only one person. It's the ongoing building of partnerships with our students, and really dreaming big and following through with these dreams by taking it one step at a time. So how are we getting there? So we need to continue to build partnerships with parents, alumni, the community of Northern Virginia, and George Mason University. This past semester, I've spent many times meeting with parents, either via phone, webcam, or in person, to be able to discuss what their perspective is on terms of how we can achieve our goals, our aspirational goals. Alumni, we're actually tonight meeting with the Alumni Affairs Office with a group of young professionals who are Jewish and Mason alumni to figure out how we can create an affinity group of Mason Jewish alumni to be able to do service back to the university. This is very exciting for us because the alumni base of Mason is growing tremendously, not in terms of numbers exclusively, but also in terms of active alumni. The community of Northern Virginia, we have 10 synagogues in Northern Virginia. Each one of them has their own flavor to it, and there are different rabbis, cantors, and community organizations within them, like men's clubs and sisterhoods, who have not only shown us financial support by sponsoring Shabbat dinners, but have reached out to our students and created opportunities for them, and that has a tremendous impact on our ability to educate and to work with students, because I have only so much Torah knowledge as I am not a rabbi. However, by bringing rabbis to campus and bringing different perspectives, we can have a significant impact on our students' ability to have access to Jewish education. And finally, George Mason University has been an indispensable partner of ours. We would not be where we are today without them. And that's because we are working with University Life, which supports our students, the development departments, which helps us bring in the financial resources we need, Alumni Affairs, which helps maintain the relationships between our graduates and the university, and the Office of Admissions, which helps bring in high quality students, and those are our students, and they are our greatest asset. So with the ongoing partnership with George Mason University, we will be able to continue to grow to achieve our dreams. The way our organization is set up is that we have a board of directors. Mason Hillel is a standalone 501c3 not-for-profit, which means that we are a standalone organization that has to file with the IRS. It also means that our board of directors and myself are responsible for fundraising our budget. I am not paid by the university. I work with the board to be able to fundraise our annual budget. And 80% of our budget is actually from parents, alumni, and community members who believe in the work that we're doing. It's through this ongoing partnership of not only financial commitment, but actual work. They say the high-quality board members have 3 qualities: work, wisdom, and wealth. And we need people with all 3 to be coming to the table to help us achieve our aspirational dreams. So I wanted to conclude with how to get in touch with me. If you would like to receive our newsletter, please put your email address in the chat box, and I'll make sure to add you to our listserv. As you can see, this is my contact info, and please feel free to take it down and write it down. I greatly appreciate you taking the time to tune in today, and I look forward to continuing to build a Jewish community here at Mason and supporting our students. So if anyone has any questions, we'll answer them now. Okay, well, I'm going to pass it back to Caitlin, who will tell you about the upcoming webinars. Thank you so much.
Thanks to Ross for providing us with the great information. For those of you who may have joined us midway through, my name is Caitlin Euler, and I'm the Assistant Director of Family Programs and Services here at Mason. Just a reminder, as you see on our screen, our next webinar is scheduled for February 6th at noon, and we will be featuring the Center for Global Education, who will be talking about study abroad. So please tune in then if you're interested in that topic. And just as a reminder, the webinar today will be posted on our website. A recording will be up there so you can visit all the information that Ross presented if you need to access it after we close out today. So what we'll do now is we will remain here in the chat room, but I'll go ahead and disable the audio and the video. So if you have any questions for Ross, we will be here. You won't be able to see or hear us anymore, but Ross will remain in the room for a little bit in case there's anything you'd like to ask him. So thanks again for tuning in, and we hope to see you at a future webinar. Have a great day.